Well, today's just a real update on a couple of things for your information, really. On the budget, it's 3 weeks ago now since we had the budget at Liverpool City Council where we passed a budget for the next 3 years. Really tough decisions were made, and we've now got to implement those decisions. And I said that I'd keep you informed about, how we're going to do that. We are actually looking at doing some having some conversations with people, getting some feedback with people, in particular on libraries and leisure services, where we are going to have to, unfortunately, make some reductions. We're doing some meetings, some conversations, looking at the footfall, how many people use the libraries and what certain areas, and we'll come back and feed that information back to you when we get that, before we make any decisions. So a lot of work going on behind the scenes, and also a lot of work where we're trying to work with the community sector to save some of the services. So it's important for me to keep you informed on that, and we will do. So that's where we are at the moment, 3 weeks on since we passed the budget at the council. Last week we took over ownership of the Cunard Building, which is a fantastic piece of real estate, really, that now belongs to the city. It's going to save us about £1.3 million. We're going to be selling one of our properties at Millennium House. We've lost 1,800 members of staff within the city, so we've got to rationalise the buildings that we have, which means that the sale of Millennium House will save us about £1.3 million. The money we get from rental within Cunard Building will actually help us pay for it, and within 5-6 years thereabouts we'll have paid for Cunard Building, which is great news for the city. Of course, it means we own it, but it means we're getting revenue in to help us pay for services and helping us run the city. So it's a fantastic story for the city. Last couple of days as well, we've announced 26 apprenticeships with Amy, one of our providers, and I was at a breakfast meeting last week where we convinced 54 businesses within the city to take on apprenticeships too. Also, we've just recently announced 500 jobs with TNT coming to the city. And a lot of people were complaining, saying, well, is that going to be the demise of the post office, because the post office had announced job losses? Well, my understanding is the job losses in the post office are going to be managerial, and they're spread across the country. TNT, I approached them and spoke to them around about 6 months ago at an event I was at in Manchester. They were looking to relocate somewhere within the city region, and I approached them and asked them could they relocate to Liverpool. So I'm delighted that they chose Liverpool. It's 500 jobs, and with those apprenticeships as well, plus the 800 jobs we announced just before Christmas, it shows that there's a confidence in the city, and people want to invest and move to the city. So we'll keep that going. We're also getting on with the school building programme and the house building programme. A couple of days ago, I was up in the New Hayes old school site in Allerton, and there's about 118 houses being built there. The quality houses, top of the range houses, which means that we can attract people who earn good money, executives and stuff, into quality houses. Rather than moving outside the city, they stay within the city, and it means more income for us within the city in terms of council tax, which I use then, of course, to pay for the services that we need after the devastating cuts that have been imposed on us by this government. So we need every new house, top of the range. We need also affordable housing, social housing for people to rent. And we're doing a mixture of both of those as well with the school building programme, all creating jobs in the construction sector. And we're actually trying to get the local supply chain and local people involved and engaged in that, because it's not rocket science, is it, that the more local labour, the more local companies are used, that's money getting spent in the local economy, which helps, of course, the city, the shops, the businesses. So we're doing a lot more of that as well. So it's just to give you an update really on some of the positive things happening within the city. This morning I've already been up at the Royal Liverpool Hospital site and breaking a sod, which is a traditional sort of event in terms of cutting the turf there and the work really starting in earnest. And of course, that means in 2017 we'll have a brand new Royal Liverpool Hospital sitting in terms of as well on a campus, a bio campus and a science campus. That'll, you know, make us the envy of the UK in terms of what's on offer there. So a great and exciting morning as well this morning. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of update on where we are. There's good news happening within the city. Obviously, the cuts are going to be really tough for us, but we'll get on with that and we'll get on with delivering those in the fairest way as we can, and we'll keep you in touch and informed.